waiting for me, giving me shit, talking about I was late, but you can't because I was here, and you're still not ready to go.
How do you know?
I bet you get a bunch of shit from your old lady at home, don't you?
You don't know.
I do know. You know it because you're a procrastinator.
Listen,
am I wrong?
I'm not a procrastinator.
I know Cheryl's at home laughing right now. She's like, "Oh my God, he's a procrastinator."
Not a procrastinator.
Me neither.
You know, maybe if you were on time.
I'm always on time. I was here on time.
Oh, you were?
I was.
Oh, you probably need some new. What
the hell are these seats?
You probably need some new batteries in your watch, pal.
No.
You don't even have the microphone in front of you. I mean,
you didn't tell me which microphone this time. Look at you got 10. Is this mine?
Pick one.
Is this mine?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there we go. Look at that. What kind of host are you?
My God. Look at you sipping your coffee?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
No.
What the hell's the matter with you?
What's unbelievable?
You want to fight?
Yes.
Let's go fight right now. Good morning, Rex.
Who's this guy over here?
Oh, my God. You haven't met Jack? That's Jack Wolf.
Okay.
He's from Spalding High School.
Does Jack wrestle?
Well,
Jack. You wrestle Jack?
No.
Jack. Well, then I wouldn't know Jack.
Jack, are you coming to the Battle in Barre 10?
I'm hoping to. I see the poster right over here.
Hoping to?
Why is he still here?
He's Jack, you're 18 years old. You need.
Yes.
You can't possibly be that busy in your life
on a Saturday night.
Because there's
so much more to do for an 18-year-old in Barre City than
be
at the fight.
Well, he's in Waterbury, but yeah, same difference.
Oh yeah. There's more to do in Waterbury.
Yeah.
There's that pizza place up there.
Yeah.
You can walk up and down the little main street they got there.
Oh my God, Jack, you need to be there.
I'm planning on it. I've changed my answer.
Oh my gosh,
Jack, is there anything? Is there? We're going to talk with Rex, obviously, but is there anything going on in sports?
Yeah, I'll just cover the the Boston area real quick.
Yeah.
So the Bruins unfortunately lost in the playoffs in a Game 7 series after winning the most regular season wins of all.
Wait, who did they lose to?
The Florida Panthers. They were a wild card team. So very tough way to end the season.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
And then the Red Sox are actually turning it around. They're 17-14, and they won last night in Toronto 7-6. And they have a star left fielder now. This Japanese guy they signed.
Yeah.
And he's been playing like crazy. So they play again tonight at home against Toronto.
How do you pronounce the Japanese guy's name?
You want me to try? You want me to try?
I want you to try.
Masataka Yoshida.
Yeah.
Masataka Yoshida.
Masataka.
That's how you got to say it, man.
Shep has a totally different way of saying it, but that's fine.
And then the Celtics, they're in the playoffs as well right now.
I hate football.
Well, he's not talking about football. He's talking about the Celtics.
Oh, is that the hockey team from Boston?
Oh, my good God. Celtics, it's basketball.
Do they fight?
No, it's the brown ball that you bounce to the ground.
You should throw it at the hoop.
That's so racist.
What?
23, and you're bouncing brown balls around.
Oh my God.
The only brown balls bouncing are on your chin.
Oh, my.
Oh, we're live.
Jack, you all right?
Not upset.
Yeah. So,
I forgot we had minors in here and stuff.
No, I mean, I guess I'm of age, but
Yeah. Go ahead, Jack. Don't listen to Rex.
Well, they're in a semifinals matchup against the 76ers, and they play tonight at 8. So
why do they play people that old? They can't beat anybody their own age, or what?
All right.
No, like Philadelphia, like the 76ers. Like,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. What else?
The local sport. I'm sorry, I gotta compose myself.
I know you do.
For local sports, I won my first tennis match.
Did
believe
you?
it or not, yes.
Yes!
Thank you.
Good for you, Jack.
Yes, in overtime. So
Wow.
that's good. And then I know the baseball boys have only lost one game so far, so good season for them. Softball, I believe, is 3-3.
Okay.
So, and then I'm not too sure about lacrosse. I'm going to be trying to find out some more about them. So.
All right. And you know about Shep launching
Yes,
four
I know.
quarters. It's going to be huge.
So, Jack, will you be at the June 10th covering local sports for the grappling tournament that's going on?
Where is that?
At the Barre Auditorium?
The Barre Auditorium on June 10th.
Yeah.
I'll have to see where I'm at.
They
I
have
might
a
be
Good
graduating.
Fight Pans qualifier that's coming to town. We convinced Good Fight to bring their huge grappling tournament up here. It's a submission-only grappling tournament.
June 10th might be graduation. I'm not sure. I have to take a peek.
What's more important, Rex? Graduation?
Grappling.
Thank you.
You really don't need that piece of paper to get ahead in life, trust me.
Jeez. Don't.
It's something the rich elitists just tell you about.
Jack, don't listen to.
I'm a bad influence.
Don't listen to bad influences like this. Really,
Okay.
just don't. But anyway,
So
But
don't
realistically-
drop out? Or?
Grappling, June 10th.
Jack, thank you,
Yes.
thank you.
I thought you had like one of the WWF stars over here, and we were gonna duke it out over
No,
here.
but if you keep pissing Jack off, he and I are both gonna
We might have
we're gonna
to.
tag
We
team
might have
and
to roll. Yeah.
kick your ass. Jesus, Rex. Rex, tell everyone and tell Jack about what to expect at the Barre Auditorium on the 14th.
Well, the first thing you should expect is the first ever Donny Brooke trading cards. They're being printed as we speak. 1 of 100 goes to the fighter. It comes in a case. That fighter, it's a limited edition, limited run. We only run about 100. For popular fighters, we only run 100.
Okay.
For unknown fighters, we'll run a couple hundred on there.
I saw the Hornstra one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keegan Hornstra. That's the first trading card. He gets 001 of 100. We get 002 of 100.
Okay.
All the rest are being sold. They're going to be $10 a piece at the show. Each show, we're going to introduce a new card.
Okay.
New collectible trading card.
Obviously, these guys will ink it up for you.
What do you mean?
Well-
Oh, yeah. If Keegan's there, you want him to sign it
Sure.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely.
Good.
So, what do we got? We got the first female small glove Muay Thai fight.
That's going to be brutal.
Yeah, Priya Sin is fighting Michelle. I believe Marquise is how you say her last name. And I believe she's out of Rogue Island, out of New York City.
Jack, you ever seen a amateur MMA fight with women?
I've watched the UFC cards, but never the.
Oh, these are way better. These guys have nothing to lose, so they put it all on the line. They never. So the difference between, and I'll explain it why, and this is why I don't watch a lot of UFC. These guys are super high talent with an incredible amount of money involved.
Yeah.
So anytime that you have money involved, these guys are specifically fighting around a rule set, and they're trying to manipulate the rule set.
Okay.
So they most of the time they want to do the bare minimum to win a fight. Okay, to me, a lot of UFC fights are super boring. An amateur fight, now these guys are trying to make a name for themselves to turn pro. So they have nothing to lose, so they lay it all out there
Yeah.
when they get in the cage. So for me, I think the amateur fight, technically, they're not as good. They're not as good as a UFC fighter as far as technicality.
Right.
I mean, we do have some look at Caleb Svengala.
Yeah.
Caleb is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and does Muay Thai. It's hard for me to even call him an amateur. It's just
Right.
he made his amateur debut as a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So, I mean, we do have some amateurs that come up that should be pro.
Yep.
But with that said, these guys go out there, they swing they are trying to knock each other out. They do very little feeling out process.
Right.
Because the time is shorter and the rounds are only 3. They're 3 rounds and they only do 2-minute rounds versus a 5-minute, or a 3-minute round versus a 5-minute round.
And the intensity is just
Yeah.
ridiculous.
You guys have you guys watched the Power Slap?
Yes, I've
Yeah,
seen some of
yeah.
that.
Okay, so our
Yeah.
main event is Andrew Provost.
Yes.
The slap fighter, Andrew Provost, is the main event.
Yeah,
He's fighting Joe McNeil.
It's unbelievable.
One of our announcers, Joe McNeil. Joe McNeil had that big battle with Romano Medina where they came out of the cage. That was a super
Huge.
technical fight right
Yes,
there.
yeah.
So Joe's making his pro debut. Andrew Provost is 1-1, and he's going to fight Joe. This is a super exciting fight for me because Andrew used to fight at heavyweight, and now he's 155 pounds.
Wow.
So you know that guy's super strong. Plus that power slap, he knocked that dude out.
Yes.
His first power slap match he did, he broke his hand. The guy flinched. He was supposed to be the world champ, whatever it was, but he ended up flinching, and Andrew broke his hand, so he couldn't continue. Andrew was an unknown, yada, yada, yada. And it was funny because that guy talked all that shit, but then flinched during the match. Ended up because he moved his head forward, so Andrew's palm hit the back of his head, and that it's illegal. So, but anyway, the next one, next one, Andrew went on. He got the coin tossed. He knocked that guy unconscious.
Where did this
unable to
whole
continue.
power slap thing start?
It started with Dana White beating his wife. And people were like, hey, man, you can't beat your wife. He's like, well, I am just so excited about slapping the shit out of people. I'm going to make a show about it.
Ooh.
And that was the same week that they premiered Power Slap series, was when he power slapped his old lady down in Mexico. But to be fair, she did try to power slap him first.
Didn't it start in like Ireland or some shit way up in the North Country?
Sure. Well, sure. They've been bitch slapping people since the age of time. Smack.
But I thought it was a joke when it first came out, and now it's like it's
gaining some steam. People if you're dumb enough to stand there and get brain damage from somebody smacking, you were either one tough sumbitch, or you just don't have any brain cells left. I'm guessing Andrew is just super fucking tough.
God. Strong is a mother fighter.
Absolutely.
It's the name of the show. Battle in Barre 10. Did I say the 14th? I meant to say the 13th.
May 13th.
Yes.
We got Emsley's. We just got our flowers for the Mother's Day. We have carnations for all the moms that show up.
Wow.
The one thing I think we're debating right now whether they hand them out on the way out or the way in, because we don't want people leaving them in the bleachers everywhere. So
Right.
the Barre City has to clean up all
Sure.
that stuff.
Right. Yeah. But what a great Mother's Day gift.
Right?
Take mom and have her, see a bunch of guys beat the shit out of each other.
Get a free gift
Yes.
to give her on Mother's Day.
Yes. Right.
What are you talking about?
Maybe you did it on the way home.
Yes.
What are you talking about? I missed something there.
The guys can bring it home to their moms.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully their moms are there at the
Yeah.
fight.
Hopefully, mom is there. Yeah. And if they're not, then
They can bring it home, right?
Right. Of course.
Yeah.
So-
It'll be a way for the guy that always forgets Mother's Day. He'd be like, "Oh, Jesus, Mom, look at this. I didn't forget Mother's Day this year. And I didn't have to pay for anything. What a great gift."
Folks like respectfully.
I wish we could get Donnybrook stamped on the pedals. You think you could do that? There's 250 of them. I need you to stamp Donnybrook.
Oh yeah,
on,
of
on
course.
the pedals.
Of course, I'll do that.
For
Yeah.
our carnations.
Folks like Jack, who have never been, frankly, respectfully, have no idea. They just have no idea what's going on in the Barre Auditorium when something like this happens.
Oh my God.
You just have to go.
The excitement,
It's amazing.
everything that is going on is incredible. It's like nothing you've ever been. It's like a live show. It's like any live sports event, but better.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
Did me and JD get the VIP booth? and
No,
everything?
JD Green is the MC. He sits right up on the. If you wanted a media pass and you wanted to do sports coverage of it, absolutely 100%. We offer.
I'm not
so
going to turn that down.
unlike our local media people that don't show up. We have the people from New York newspapers that show up. We have New England MMA that shows up. New England media that shows up for these fights that cover them. Gamma comes up, but Gamma's not a media place.
I understand, but they're
We
professionals
have
that are there.
NBC5, Fox News Fox News from New York, not Vermont. Let me make that very clear. Vermont does not cover these shows. They only cover local high school basketball because that's, I guess, what everybody wants to see. Nobody wants to see a professional fight or the world title fight going on for a small glove Muay Thai
right here in
Barre, Vermont. Why would our local paper cover that? Instead, we depend on the New York papers to come here and do that for us.
And they've done great. They've done amazing
Absolutely.
coverage.
Huge coverage on it. And
Great
I don't spend
interviews.
one dime of advertising with them. They follow local fighters. Their local fighters are coming from New York, so what do? They follow their local fighters all the way to New York just to cover them.
Jack, you know Ben Field?
Maybe.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. He's got to know.
He was doing his podcast last night.
All the calls.
Podcast. Yeah, all the calls. He did it. He actually had Ed Collins's opponent on there, which was really cool.
Yeah.
I learned a lot about him. Like he said, he's like, I'm going into a promotion. That guy's the favorite. Obviously, I'm going there. I'm supposed to lose.
Yeah.
Well, I watched that, and absolutely not. That was not why we picked Cy. I picked Cy specifically because I met Cy at a show with Ed Brown. He's a friend with Ed Brown. And he was just a very athletic kid. This kid is jacked. He is in great shape. He trains seriously. There was some things that I saw that would be the kryptonite to Ed, to where Ed would have to battle adversity. Mm-hmm. So to me, that made for a great matchup. It had nothing to do. If I wanted Ed just to get a win, I have a list of bums to pick from that I would just, here's a win, go ahead and do that. But that's not. I really liked the matchup between Cy. I think Cy said he's a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's been doing straight Muay Thai kickboxing for almost 2 years now. So this is a great matchup. I never underestimated Cy whatsoever. I thought Cy had a real chance. Cirrus or Cy, we call him. I thought he had a real chance at beating Ed, and that's why I picked him and Ed's taking it serious. Ed's been in a fight camp doing wars with Chris Peralt, so he's definitely not taking it.
Yeah,
lightly.
and Chris has taken a few hard hits. I'm sure.
Oh, Lady Killer.
My God.
That just call Chris Lady Killer from now on.
God,
he busted up old Sophia. He couldn't beat up any of the guys in the gym, so he broke Sophia.
he's not the one that broke Sophia's
he
leg.
is. He broke Sophia, Lady Killer.
He broke her leg?
Arm. Broke her arm.
Come on.
Yeah, she grabbed him. He's like, "Don't you touch me, lady." Snap. Lady Killer.
Ed has been on for lack of a better term here, a roller coaster for the last couple of.
Oh Jesus! The 205-pound division is so hard to match up.
He's gone into fight camp, and at the last minute, his
I think
opponent.
the last fight camp we had 4 drops. 4 people drop. And I mean, it was none of the opponents. It wasn't their fault. They were actual injuries. I mean, one guy broke his leg,
Sure,
or broke his ankle, or something.
but at the last minute, Ed is learning that he's not going to be fighting, and I think many of us have been anticipating this for a long time.
Right.
To have Ed Collins back in the cage is huge locally. Yeah. It's massive.
Yeah. So Ed went on all the calls. Ed drove all the way out to New York, and he fought the number 1 guy in New York, and that was Corey Norman. And he was really pissed about it because he trained really hard. He trained with some wrestlers. He knew that Corey was going to be able to take him down, and so it was getting back up. Corey got him in a position where we call it Kesa Katami, and it's a sit out, almost like a headlock division, a headlock. Then what he did was he put his hand between his legs and pinched his legs on his hand. Ed couldn't pull his hand out because once you put that glove on, it is so hard to get your hand out. You have your wrap, you have your glove. It's really hard to get your hand out when it comes to arm bars, submissions. So Luke hollered out, "Give up your back, stand up," because he was afraid that they were going to stop the fight because Ed couldn't intelligently defend himself without giving up his back to stand up. So Ed gave up his back to stand up, and Corey was able to secure a rear naked choke fairly quick on him. And that was, that was a huge emotional roller coaster for Ed because he had prepared so hard for that fight. But that's the fight game. That's how shit happens. So now, it comes September, Ed is going to make his professional debut. Corey Norman's going to make his professional debut. And those two, I'm pretty sure, are going to scrap it out in September again under pro rules this time.
Wow.
So this time Corey's going to come to Ed's backyard if we can book that fight. That's what we're trying to do.
Oh my God. What's the deal with pay-per-view?
Oh, if you get right onto our Donny Brooke site and you go down to the fighters there, you can click on each individual fighter and they have their own personalized link. Do not ever click on a link on Facebook. Those are scams, spams. Do not do that. We only post, it's only on our website. That's the only place that you can go. We're not posting it on Facebook anymore. Just go directly to our DonnyBrookFightPromotions.com. Okay. And from there you can get a pay-per-view. If you click on the fighter that your favorite fighter, they actually get the credit for it. We put $5 into their account for every pay-per-view that they sell. And that's to help cover their advertising costs and stuff like that.
All right. So how long does that last? Right up until fight?
Yeah, right now there's a discount going up for the second row VIP tables. I think the front row VIP tables are all sold out. Second row VIP tables, there's a 15% discount. Those tables seat 6 people at each one of those tables. They have a waitress from Gusto's. We got to get Josh Dickerson, make sure he's got our Donny Tots cooked for this show.
He'll get them cooked up.
Yeah, he will.
Yes, he will. Oh, my God.
Who do we have? Who's the nonprofit? Oh, my God. Who is the nonprofit for this show? I'm trying to think.
Where's Taylor? Raylene's on it.
Raylene, find out who it is. Because we try to change it up. Of course, September, our September show, which will be right around September 11th, we're going to have the VFW guys back for theirs.
Wonderful. Ron Tallman?
Yep.
Chuck Barney?
I don't know. Whoever they send, the normal crew.
Okay. All right. Good guys over there. Great guys.
Did you see Liam back in the gym?
No.
Liam
Carroll?
Oh, wild. So the doctors were like, he's never going to talk again. He's not going to be able to do any of this. And then one day he woke up and started doing math problems and shit. And they're like, what the hell is going on? So he was back, 2 weeks ago in the gym, not taking punches or anything, but actually
UFAI?
Yep, up there doing some training. It was great to see him back in there. So he's still got recovery going on, but this is helping with his recovery.
Is he coming to this battle in Barrie 10?
I hope so, because he'll obviously he has full access to our shows.
Holy shit, that would be huge. My God.
Yeah.
Frankly, it's amazing that he's alive.
Absolutely. Yep. And
Wow.
so, and that's just another testament. And that was something we talked about in my self-defense class is why we walk away from fights. I'm lucky to be alive myself. I'm a dumbass. He was fighting with one of the guys, and he was getting the better of him and didn't know that there was another guy, and the other guy tackled him. When he tackled him, his head hit the pavement, knocked him unconscious, and then they both started jumping on him. So,
Jesus.
That's why we have to do everything in our power to always walk away from a fight.
That's something that you teach and teach well.
We try. We absolutely try.
I hear some rumors that my little girl is kicking your ass right now.
I'm so impressed with Lily. So I sat on top of her Monday night. Yeah, I sat on top of her.
She's 8 years old, Brad.
Yeah, I don't care.
Lighten up.
So I sat on top of her Monday night, and she understands how her body works, and instead of showing her moves, I'm just telling her the concept. Like, I want her to know what she's trying to do. So I'm on top of her, and I said, Lily, all I want you to do is I want you to get your knees to your elbows and put them in between me and you. Well, what does she do? She shrimps out, puts her knees right. I never showed her any of that stuff, but teaching her the concept, she knows they understand how their body has to move in order to achieve or accomplish their goal.
Right.
Her goal
Right.
was to put her knees and elbows in between me and her. My chest. No longer can you have my chest between you. So she figured out she has to have a frame to push me away. She has to get her hips out far enough. In order to get her knees and elbows inside of there, she has to create space. And I didn't have to tell her any of that. And she was like, bam, bam. That kid will be a savage in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So, but you should have seen the look on her face, because one thing that I do, and I do this with all the kids, when they're ready, I don't force any child. This is something we'll be talking about tonight.
Talking about my daughter.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of kids and it's not even kids, but a lot of adults come in, have never been in a fight in their life. They don't know what to expect. And I don't care how much training you do. You can sit in class every single day. But until you're punched in the face, you don't know how you're going to react. So one thing that I do with the kids, and I don't know if you were there to see any of it, but I did it to Big Lily. Lily Anderson trains with me.
Yes.
She is another one that's going to be a savage. That girl has hooks. Like, it hit me behind the ear and stumbled me. I was like, damn, I shouldn't be letting these kids use MMA gloves to punch me in the face. So one thing that I do is I bring them into the cage and I lock the door. Number one, it's a small cage. It's only a 19-foot cage. There's nowhere to run. You can't hide. You can't run. You have to face your problems inside of that cage. So I don't mimic a boxer. I don't mimic a martial artist. I try to mimic a thug on the street, a kid inside of a school bullying you, and how they throw punches.
Right.
So I throw a whirlwind of punches and make them feel overwhelmed. That feel what happens in a real fight when all of a sudden punches are coming. You don't see them. You don't understand it. It comes down to a body reaction. Your body, you want to be able to think, but everything is so fast. And unless you've been doing this so long and you can slow everything down in your brain, that's never going to happen in a real fight. So you have to react when you're being overwhelmed. So I batter them up. I wear big gloves. I wear 16-ounce gloves. They wear MMA 4-ounce gloves, so they can still grab me. They can still lock up my limbs, wrist control, stuff like that. So I smack the shit out of them. I need them to feel what it feels like. Well, no, a lot of these people have never been punched in the face. And what happens is if you're out on the street, next thing you know, you got punched in the face. Even though you've been training at Granite City MMA, you've got punched in the face, and you're like, you freeze. You don't know what to do. So you either run away, you turn your back. A lot of people turn their back, and they try to run. And what happens when you turn your back, they come up from behind you and you get hit with horrible shots that hurt worse than anything because you don't see them coming and you can't prepare for them. So we put them inside of this cage and create this super safe environment that is really scary at first, but it gets them comfortable. Every single one of the kids that I brought in there, as soon as they shell up in a proper shell, the punches become very slow and they don't hurt them. When they open up or they're not shelling in the right spot, the punches will come in. Jabs will make it into their end of their nose. Jabs, hooks, these will find spots until they shell back up into a proper stance. What this does is trains their body to recognize safe positions and non-safe positions.
And react instinctually.
So we're getting more onto the striking part of it because they don't understand how to react with the striking part. The jiu-jitsu part, as soon as I throw them on the ground and I start hammer fisting their end of their nose, they do everything that we've learned in jiu-jitsu under pressure. And then I stop and we talk. I explain to them, do you understand the difference on how jiu-jitsu works under pressure? When I say we do things under pressure, I mean you need to be able to do jiu-jitsu when somebody's punching you in the face. You need to be able to protect yourself and be able to move and do jiu-jitsu at the same time. And so far, they've all been able to do it. Lily came in. She looked like she was having a bad day. Big Lily. There's Big Lily, Little Lily.
Yes.
So she was just having a bad day, and I was like, Lily, you're sparring today. And she's like, oh my God, I've never been in a fight. I've never been punched. I was
And
like,
she's what, 12? I
Yep.
think she's 12.
I mean, most of us boys, especially if we had brothers, we've been fighting since we came out of the womb. But you realize there's a whole demographic of people who have never been in a fight before in their life.
Sure.
And it's at their own pace. Nobody has to do this. I mean, of course, I'm trying to make it scary to them, and I joke with them a lot, but
Sure.
I really don't want it to be scary. I want them to be able to do this in a controlled environment, because the last place I want them to try this
Right.
is at school or on the street.
Sure.
So I brought Lily into there, and it was funny because, they're all nervous. They think that I'm going to haul off and punch them absolutely as hard as I can. And I don't. I scream, I holler at the top of my lungs, and I come in like a whirlwind and just start throwing punches. And they all shell up. They go against the cage. And then I talk to them. You need to punch your way out. So the first thing that they do is they want to do like a running punch and try to punch you away. So I overwhelm them, push them against the cage, bap, 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 bap the shit out of them. And then I stop. Then I slow it down, and I tell them.
This is a 12-year-old girl.
Yes.
That he's talking about, Jack.
Yes. So, bap, 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 bap. And I let them know the only way that you get somebody away from you is not by one punch. Too many martial arts train that. One punch. Thinks that ends a fight. It never ends a fight. Very rarely does that ever end a fight, one punch. So we teach punches in bunches. Simple combination. Bang, bang, bang. All the way out until the threat stops. So I'm explaining this to Lily as I'm, beating her up. You have to fight your way out of it. You have to. This is it. Your life depends on this right now. Fight your way out of it. Bang, catches a hook. I was like, oh. I was like, why are you only throwing one punch? Bang, 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 bang. And then it was just an onslaught. Once she figured out when they're throwing back, I can't throw because I have to defend. You can't defend and have an offense at the same time. You're either defending or you're offending. And she figured out throwing punches. I can't throw punches back. So, it was a good time. It was a huge eye-opener for her to know, let your hands go. You have dynamite in your hands. Let them go. If you have another little girl that's bullying you, giving you shit, one shot from them hands, it's going to. And I talk about this in schools. Schools are like, no, do not fight. No, do not do this. Come get a teacher. Come do this. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but a teacher already has enough in their plate. A teacher's there to teach your fucking kid. They're not there to protect your kid. They're not there to be a parent. They're not there to do any of that shit except teach your kid schooling to get them to the next level. That's what they're there for.
The fights I've seen at school, it goes 0 to 100. Like, there is no time to grab a teacher. It just sparks off, and you got to defend yourself.
Yeah, we fight. We're kids. Kids fight. It happens. It's your responsibility as a parent to protect your kid, teach your kid how to protect themselves, and to parent your fucking kid.
Yeah.
It's not my job. You know how many times I get messages and it's people, they're like...
You know what it took for me, though? It took some little ass hat to spit in Lily's face.
What?
So
But
therefore...
And that's the common theme. They're like, okay, I'm here. Why are you here? My kid got beat up.
Yeah.
Well, why did you wait for your kid to get beat up?
Agree.
Well, we went to the teachers. The teachers didn't do anything. We didn't. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're absolutely right. They're not. It's not their job. Well, there was a guy breaking into my house and raping my wife. I called the police and they didn't get here in time to stop it. So I just watched. Is that no? They're not here to protect you. It's your responsibility for your own personal fucking protection.
I think the question was for quite a while there was Lily too young and too small, and she's right. I think she's right on the cusp. But man, she's
There's just different things that we teach to
Right.
those kids when they're that
Exactly.
smaller. So I'm not necessarily teaching Lily how to fight with bullies. What I'm teaching Lily right now is basic grip breaks. If an adult grabs her, she can get away. What I'm also teaching her is to speak up for herself.
Yes.
To have a voice and not to be timid.
Yeah.
To have confidence in yourself. If you have that confidence, my daughter is 4'6", 4'2", 4 foot, whatever it is.
Yeah.
When she went to Spalding High School, she walked around with a confidence. There was kids bigger than her. She never once got bullied.
Right.
Not once.
So wait, she carried herself.
That and 2,000 people watched her make her MMA debut at 16 years old.
That's
but
right.
She started learning how to fight at a very young age. And so one thing that I tell my kids, I can teach you everything, but you're small. Like Lily is small.
Yeah.
I could have Lily for the next 2 years. She could go to all the advanced classes. She could be an absolute savage. Just say the next 3 years. What is she, 12 now? She, say the next 3 years, she goes 7 days a week. She is an absolute badass. But there's a 20-year-old boy. That 20-year-old boy is a bully. Can he beat up Lily? Yeah, probably. He's bigger, he's stronger, he's athletic. Let's be real. When you're a kid, if you're 12 years old, a 16-year-old kid, I don't care what you know, you could be a third-degree black belt in frickin' some sort of ancient Japanese art, and a 16-year-old kid's going to come in and mop your ass. Okay? So, that's another reason we do some real life sparring. But more importantly, that confidence, this 16-year-old is not looking for somebody to bully that's going to fight back. Bullies do not fight people that want to fight back. So I wasn't the biggest kid in school, but I would fight with anybody. There's not a person I wouldn't fight. Okay, you want to fight? We're going to fight. Okay, wait a minute. Let's think about this. Let's go find someone easier. Is there a chance for you to get an ass whooping? Absolutely. But if you're willing to fight, the chances of a bully coming after you reduces immensely.
Yeah.
They don't want it. They don't want that target. That's not who they want. They want to sit all day long and pick at you. Hey, JD, your mom's fat.
Yeah.
Hey, JD, I slept with your mom last night.
Sure.
And they never get a reaction out. If you stood up and whacked them in the face,
Yeah.
and you guys turned into a fight, even if they beat you up and you said, say another thing about my mom, we're going to do this again, guess what? Bullying stops.
Yeah.
The only way to stop bullying, no amount of psychology, because we're constantly going to have shitty parents where, you need a license to drive a car. You don't need a license to be a parent. Mm-hmm. So, and that was one big thing with my kids. We came up through. I did bullying when I was a kid in school, but nobody knew my past. Nobody knew what I was going through as a kid. So that was something I explained to my children. Like, don't go just beat up a bully. Feel sorry for them.
Yeah.
So my kids never had to fight with a bully. They would actually sit down. They're like, hey, you got a lot going on in your life at home. Your parents probably treat you really bad. And they would make bullies cry just talking to them. Never have to throw a fist.
Yeah.
So, but they had that confidence to do that. Where other people, they're like, oh my God, I don't even want to talk to that guy. I know there's probably something more going on, but I don't want to say a word because he's just going to beat me up.
Yeah.
But it's all about having that confidence to stand up to a bully. Tom DeBlas, we just started. I think we're starting the bully proof program up at Granite City MMA. Tom DeBlas just started his own version of the bully proof program. So I know Lucas is working on that right now.
And this is right in Graniteville.
Yeah. Yeah. And if any parents have a problem because their kid's a bully or something, they can always come up and talk to me and Lucas. And
Churchill Road. We
can explain.
In the old church.
Yeah, we can explain these situations and why your kid shouldn't be bullied and why you should stop being a piece of shit to your kid so he's not a piece of shit to all the other kids at school. Because it really does stem from something else. A kid just doesn't come from a great home and loving parents and become a bully.
Right.
Does not happen. I didn't go bully kids because my dad gave me a hug every day.
Yeah.
I bullied kids because my dad beat me with a belt, because my dad punched me in the face. That's why I bullied kids. That was it, So There's always an underlying issue. We know this. But with that said, my son's best friend is Logan Craig. Logan was the biggest kid at Websterville Baptist Church. And Logan was kind of a bully. He just kind of pushed his way around. Well, my son came from Taekwondo, wrestling, and came to Websterville Baptist. He beat the shit out of Logan. They became best friends. To this day, they're best friends. Yeah, absolutely. Logan works for us. He's a good kid.
His mom was on the air yesterday morning.
Oh, yeah, I love Lynn.
Sitting right there.
We've known these people for our entire life. And it just, I don't want to say Logan was a bully. He was just a big kid. He didn't listen to anybody.
Right.
Unless you could beat him up.
Sure.
That's how he would listen to you.
Right. Right.
So Hunter was like, nah, fuck you.
Yeah.
Oh, what are you doing, little guy? Oh, watch this. Can you imagine? It just grappling and takes the size difference out. When you're an untrained fighter versus, and I don't necessarily mean a fighter, but if you're untrained, if you're out on the street and you've never taken a class or never wrestled or anything like that, you'd be surprised. A high school wrestler will put a whooping on you because that's what they do. They train every single day. They've done 10,000 double leg takedowns. So, and they compete. They've been in that. They've had that adrenaline dump. They understand competition.
Yeah.
So,
tell me about. I want to throw some love at Benfield. He does a great job, and I also want to ask you about your production crew.
Oh yeah. So this time the only couple things after every single show, we try to look back and see where we can make our shows better. The live event, I think, is running really, really great. That's we switched around the VIP tables down below, and then just the general seating. I think we got the live thing down. The only thing that I think we're lacking is we needed to move our production to the next level. Mm-hmm. We wanted to be able to compete with ESPN Sports and stuff like that, Fight TV. So we contacted Art Hunsinger. Art Hunsinger he does all of the Warriors Cup Muay Thai, ESPN Boxing. He was the production manager for Fox Sports News. So he comes out with a whole crew. They come out, they have 6 guys on their production. They have 6 camera guys. They have their production crews. I mean, right now they have the little monitors in front of all the, we'll be able to do the instant replays because he sits in the media booth on a headset and he can talk to all of the commentators. Now Taylor doesn't have to run the separate computer.
Right. That's
all hooked up part of onto the big screen. It's just,
that's amazing.
It's less things that we have to do.
Mm-hmm.
And also the cutting and having the fight videos. We'll have those like Monday, Tuesday after the fights. It'll all be cut. And we'll have all the individual fights almost instantly.
What's the card like? It's packed.
It's just crazy. We
How
started
many
with 17 fights. I think we have 13 right now. So it's a huge card.
Fighters from where?
Oh, we've got, let's see, Rogue Nation out of New York City, South Shore Sports. We've got Saratoga. Oh, wait a minute. If I say this wrong, Shihan is going to fucking kill me. Saratoga Elite Martial Arts.
Jack, you got to be there, dude.
If I think I'll be, if I get a media badge, I'll shoot some stuff for aired out.
Well, he's 18, man. He doesn't have $50 sitting around in his wallet. Rex, come on.
Oh no, media people don't have to pay when you're coming and you're doing coverage. You get a media pass. You don't pay. You come in the back door with all the rest of the media people. There's a special place for you guys to sit. You'll sit with New England MMA. New England Fight News, whatever it is, all those guys. That's where the sports coverage goes. And the Times Argus, WCAX, I've extended that courtesy to all of the local papers.
And you What's the deal? You just didn't.
So they did a snippet for the last show because John Dean had an in with the Rutland Herald.
Okay.
So he sent one of his pictures, and so they sent a picture in, and it had the picture of me. And that was it. No article, no nothing. Most everybody doesn't even know what the hell was going on at the auditorium. There was nothing. But I don't know. I think the Times-Argus has its own problems at this point. So I guess we'll reach out to 7 Days in the Washington World because they seem to be a lot more receptive.
Okay.
When it comes to that stuff. But if you're a local paper and you want to come to our show, just contact the page. We'll have a media pass waiting for you. You have a table with a seat that's always empty because you guys are never there. But we save it for you every show, just so you know. Maybe Jack will be there. He'll take that up for you.
Yeah, I'll grab
Maybe
that
you
seat.
could contact Times-Argus and do their job for them.
We have some comments here. John Anderson.
Yes.
When I was young, I qualified for the U.S. Nationals by placing second in the regionals and secured a spot.
Taekwondo.
Yeah,
I did the same thing for Mexico. I qualified for the Nationals in Mexico. Me, Hunter, and Taylor.
Yeah.
Yep. No, that's pretty cool. Does he want to do a fight? You want to do a kickboxing fight now?
I don't know. You have to talk with him.
I think he's more focused on finding an eye doctor right now.
Okay.
If it's the same John Anderson.
Oh, my God.
I wonder who he trained under, if it was Master Rhoda or if it was Blue Wave Taekwondo.
There's quite a bit of there's a lot of comments coming in. You'll have to go back and
Nice. Any good ones?
Yeah, there's some good ones in there. Yeah. Mostly, just how good you look and
Yeah, right.
how many pounds you've lost and how did that feel to get that brown belt?
Okay. Make sure that weren't my truck. So, me and Ed were actually just talking about this the other day, and when I was a white belt, all I ever wanted was my blue belt. I remember watching them guys walking around with brown belts and shit, and I was like, oh, I wish I had that belt. And I remember Ed was like, he said that to somebody one day, and they were like, you want this one? Because it don't make a bit of difference. And so I just remember I was like, I need my blue belt. I need my blue belt. So I got my blue belt, and then I was like, purple belt. I harassed the shit out of Lucas. I was like, what's going on, man? I'm a superstar. Why don't I have my purple belt? Well, then I got into purple belt and realized like how much I didn't know. I was like, there's so much to jiu-jitsu. It's just not even funny, man. And I was like, blue belt, I know everything there is to know about jiu-jitsu. I just need to tighten some things up, and I'll be a black belt here in just a couple of years. And then I got to purple belt, and I was like, oh, no, not even fucking close. And so I was having a really good time at purple belt, just going at it. I can't say that I wasn't not happy to get my brown belt, because it was a huge honor. It's one of the most, it's a belt that I have the most respect for. It was the hardest earned belt that I've ever earned. Out of all the martial arts I've done, that was the hardest belt to earn. A lot of belts are bought and paid for. You show up every single class, you pay your testing fee, you make sure your dues are up to date, and every 2 months we'll test you, we'll give you another stripe, you pay us $100. So I don't have as much love for those belts, and a lot of those belts were never recognized except for at that school. So let me explain the belting system a little bit different from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu versus another martial art. I'm not here to bash any martial arts. It's just a different criteria. I am the type of guy, I don't give a shit what you're doing as long as you're training. I really don't. I don't care. I used to be like, you need to be doing something realistic. And I used to get way too involved in other people's shit. And I don't anymore. I don't care. As long as you're training and what you're doing, whatever keeps you training, I'm happy that you're doing. I really am. I really, really am.
Yeah.
So Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu isn't for everyone. They say it is. It may not be. It may not be your forte. Older people, my age, that have never done any grappling, never done anything, a lot of times I will send them to kickboxing because kickboxing is not as personal. You're not inside a stranger's personal space on day one.
Right.
You know, you don't
With your
have
face
me
smashed into their neck.
Exactly. So a lot of times I will tell people, if you've never done any martial arts, you've never done any grappling, never done any wrestling, go try some kickboxing.
Yeah.
Get used to just being in the gym, being around other people, get to know the people. Then, if you want to go into the jiu-jitsu. Now, if you're younger, athletic, anything like that, you get your ass into jiu-jitsu, start right now.
Yeah.
Where was I going with this? So the belts, the way the belting works.
Yeah.
You have a school, you're in a certain school, like John Anderson. John Anderson went to a certain school. He made it up to a certain rank inside that school. If he did not get his black belt, if he moves to another school, none of his belts are recognized. You could go for the next 5, 6, 7 years, go all the way up to red belt with a black stripe, and switch schools, and you have to start all over at white belt. Okay. When you become a blue belt in an IBJJF school, that's why it takes 3 years to get. It usually takes about 3 years to get a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Your very first colored belt takes almost 3 years.
Okay.
A lot of other arts, you can get your black belt within 3 to 4 years.
Okay.
But when you get your blue belt, that blue belt is registered through IBJ, International Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation. It's the largest jiu-jitsu federation in the world.
Okay.
Everybody recognizes it. At that point, your blue belt is recognized worldwide. So there's a saying in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a blue belt knows everything that you need to know throughout your career of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You know all of your foundation, your fundamentals, you should know before you get your blue belt. Now, on the same aspect, when you go to a lot of other martial arts, their black belt represents they have an incredible understanding of all the fundamentals. That's what it is. So arts are different. It's just a different criteria. And criteria has changed from school to school to school. Like just between our gym, I used to get so pissed off. I can remember thinking, this is going back to me getting my brown belt. I'm going to get to that. So I used to watch guys, and I remember thinking to myself, yeah, I would congratulate him, but I'd be like, why the fuck is that guy a purple belt? Why is that guy a brown belt? You know, blah, 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 blah. And then I was like, you know what? Why am I worrying about that? It has nothing to do with me. Our school, our criteria. That's what it is. Don't care.
Right.
So, you know, I got my brown belt, and
Not easy.
yes, fuck no, it's not easy. Not even easy. And I don't care what the criteria is at any other jiu-jitsu school. If you're a brown belt, I got respect for you. That means you sat in that class. That's just not a belt that they give away. You sat in there. It's a lot like college. Does college help you get a job? Yes and no. Does it give you I take that. Does it help you get a job? Yes. And I'll tell you why it helps you get a job. But does it give you the job qualifications of a guy that's been working on the job? No. But what that does is it tells an employer that you were able to sit in a class, accomplish a goal in 4 fucking years.
And work hard.
And work hard doing it.
Yeah.
Not that you have the qualifications, but that you proved that you could show up every day and accomplish a goal. When you're wearing a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, that means you went to class. You were there for a minimum 6, 7 years. That's what that says to me. You've been doing it. You took the time to sit down. Is there guys out there that have no belts on that could probably beat you in a grappling match because they've been doing no gi? Absolutely. But those guys in no gi don't have the drive, the intestinal fortitude, and their ego's so fucking big they can't sit in a class.
Sure.
So ego plays a huge part on why these no-gi guys or other people don't get belts, because they can't sit inside of a class. So I have huge respect for other guys that are wearing black belts, and not so much because of what their art is. It's because they were dedicated, they put their mind to it, and they accomplished their fucking goal.
Right. I love this.
That says a lot about somebody.
Of course it does.
You know, that everybody asks me, they're like, oh, who's this new guy, the white? I don't know. I don't know any of the white belts' names. I have no clue. The only names that I specifically remember will be new females coming in because of how important I think it is for a female to learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And the reason for that is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is specifically designed for a smaller person to be able to defend off an attack of a larger person. Normally, females are smaller than men. So that's why it's perfect art for them to be doing.
Todd Anderson and I
Yes.
are the same age, and we love to sit there and watch, observe you and Lucas and Chris Peral and others train our little girls. Because, let's be honest, Todd Anderson and I are not going to be around forever. And to know that you guys are teaching our little girls to be warriors and to protect themselves. No
Little
matter
girls
what.
don't need a knight in shining armor. They don't. Those days are gone. Your little girl should absolutely. If you
Well, you're going to have to send a
love
memo
your
to
little
Walt
girl,
Disney.
If you love your little girl, you'll have her teach. You'll if you really do.
Yeah.
And you want your daughter to be able to protect herself. And the bullshit about going and getting a gun, oh, I'll just give them a gun. My dad taught me how to shoot out back. That is the biggest piece of bullshit. Because what is going to happen, and don't get me wrong, I'm a huge gun guy. I grew up in a gun store. Okay, I believe your first line of defense is a weapon. The only reason that we teach martial arts is because for some reason they were able to get to me before I could draw my weapon or I didn't have my weapon.
Sure.
These are worst case scenarios, as I talk about all the time. You've heard me talk about it.
I have.
Why are we on the ground? Because we fucked up all the way and we ended up on the ground. We should have ended the fight with the first combination that I taught you the very first day,
Sure.
but it didn't.
Right.
It should have ended when the guy tried to tackle me, but it didn't. It should have ended before I hit the ground, but now I'm on the ground. Now it's worst case scenario.
You're right.
A gun. Everybody is under the misconception that, well, if I just have a gun, I can pull a gun and shoot somebody. Mm-hmm. Well, have you ever been in a combat-focused shooting course? Or do you go out back and shoot tin cans off a log? Because I'm telling you right now, in the middle of the night, when a silhouette is walking down your hallway to your bedroom, you're going to hesitate and not shoot them. You know why? Because it's not a fucking tin can at the end of the hallway. You know it's a human being. And unless you are training day in and day out to shoot a human being, you will hesitate and you will most likely have your gun taken away from you and you'll be killed. So,
Yeah.
if you want to carry a gun, absolutely. Do I encourage you to carry a gun? 100%. But when I encourage you to carry a gun, I want you to go through a combat-focused shooting course. Until you do that, please carry a stun gun, pepper spray, something like that. Until you know. Do not depend on. And the reason I know this is the military tried this. World War II, the success rate of actually hitting somebody, guys were in foxholes and fighting positions, guns over their head, bang, 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 because they found out soldiers were hesitating. When they saw a human at the other end of their barrel, they would hesitate and people would get killed. Because in World War II, they used to practice with round targets. They stopped doing that. Now, everything in the military is trained with a silhouette target. When you shoot the silhouette is gone.
Form.
Right. And so that it trains your mind. So now you're no longer looking at facial features. You're now looking at a silhouette of a human being. It's like, I'm up, he sees me, bang, he's down. So
Yeah.
it don't have confidence that you're just going to be able to shoot somebody, look somebody in the eye, because everything that's going to go through your head, you're going to look, is that a junkie inside your house? But that junkie is someone's brother. That junkie could be someone's father. And all of those things are going to go through your head before you ever pull a trigger.
I love the fact that when I'm driving my little girl to school, that I can look in the rearview mirror and she's buckled into her car seat and looks at me in the rearview mirror and says, "Tonight, I'm going to show Rex who's boss."
So I said to her Monday,
Tonight, I'm going to beg. Rex is going to beg for mercy. Things like that.
She asked me.
When I kiss Lily's forehead and it smells like your fucking armpit, I know that she's being trained well. Seriously.
She said to me, "Did Sherilyn tell you about the look she gave me?"
No.
So she's like, "Hey, what's this about getting in the cage and fighting?" I was like, "Yes, it's a bare knuckle, no holds barred to the death. But you'll be fine." And I walked off, and the look on her face was like, me and Sherilyn were laughing so hard.
One of these times, I would love to I'd love to be there. I'll be there tonight. I would just love to see you pull Lily into the cage and lock
We'll
the door.
see about that. She's still a little bit young for.
Well, just to give her a little bit of, that feeling.
We're still going to wait a little while on Lily. She's still pretty small.
Granite City MMA is doing such a great job. Lucas, the rest of you, all of you. The battle in Barrie 10 is going to be just massive. Tickets.
We're actually heading to the. Would you get some wrestling going on Sunday?
Yes.
We're going to go up to the Barrie Elks. We're going to set up there. Probably me and Taylor. I don't know if Brenda's going, but because our fans cross.
Sure.
I think it's Adam Lash that I spoke to.
Yeah.
So Adam is. We spoke to them where he asked us if we want to put a table up. Here we go. Let's give these guys a plug. The Beginning, Sunday, May 7th. So we're going to go there. We're going to set up a table. We have a couple fighters going to watch the wrestling. And wrestling's always fun. And we cross-promote with our fans. Some of our fans like to watch professional wrestling. Some of the professional wrestling fans like to watch real fighting. So we're trying to support each other. We're all local. We're trying to keep things going on in Barrie, and I think this is a great idea. These guys are trying to get this built up, and it's just something more for Barrie.
Yeah.
We
need to get the hell out of the house and
absolutely.
We need to find that primal thing inside of us.
Well, you got to find something to do in Barrie. I mean, because once the buildings start falling down, because nobody will fucking work in this city anymore. You're going to need something to do.
That's Rex.
The stupid shit that they are trying to.
He's got a huge filter.
I have a huge filter, but what kind of dumb shit are they trying to propose? You can't get a contractor to work in Barrie City as it is. Now you're going to add more rules on it. So you know why they're doing this? It's so that they can bring out-of-state fucking contractors up here and raise your taxes so you can pay triple the amount of anywhere else.
Say it again, Rayleigh.
I said then they'll want to buy housing and just more of their bullshit.
It's not. It's crazy. This stuff. Every single one of those proposals takes another person to work. It's more money, and it's ridiculous. You're doing redundancy after redundancy after redundancy. For what? For what? Have they ever been screwed on a bid in fucking Barrie City? Because you have to carry bonding. You have your bonding, which covers all of that shit. So if you're not happy with it, you contact their bond company. But instead, we're going to bond you. We're going to make sure that you have a man with a dress on, a man with color, a man with no color. We're going to have, I don't know, a fucking goat up there because we want to make sure that the goats are represented today. It's bullshit. You're making headaches where headaches don't. You're not a problem solver. You're a problem maker. Why? What is the problem that we have to address this issue? Why do we have to address this? What is going on? Are people getting screwed? Is the city of Barrie been screwed on a bunch of bids? What was the purpose of coming up with all of this new proposal? I could understand. Is there something falling through the cracks? Was there fucking 30 transgender people standing out here looking for a job the other day? And there was a Barrie City contractor working here? No, there sure wasn't. There wasn't. You're creating a problem that was never there. You're creating a solution to a problem that was never there. That is our biggest problem in fucking politics today. I didn't want to come here and talk about politics, but that burns my ass. I'm glad I'm not a taxpayer in the city of Barrie. This is a joke, these yahoos doing this stupid shit. Why are not people not asking these? Obviously, I'm not allowed. I was online there, and I'm not allowed to talk about Barrie politics because I only do work here in Barrie. I only bring tax money into fucking Barrie. And you got some lady on there telling you can't talk about it because you don't pay tax in here. I pay taxes for a long time in the city of Barrie. I've lived here my entire fucking life. So for somebody to say that we can't talk politics, you're proposing stupid shit for no reason.
Have you thought about going to city council?
For what? I'm not a taxpayer. For what? I have my own town. We're dealing with fucking hot dogs on a daily up there in Williamstown. I mean, we got bigger hot dogs to fry than down here in Barrie City. But I'm telling you right now, if the Williamstown board came up with half the proposals that the city of Barrie just... Where did this come from? Who the fuck comes up with this shit? It wasn't a Barrie City resident. You're not telling me that a Barrie City resident said, well, I noticed the roofing crew up there wasn't one man with a skirt on up there. Why aren't we hiring men with skirt to do that job? I'm sorry, I'm being offensive, but I'm just trying to make people realize how silly, how stupid these proposals are looking and what they're going to do. They don't solve a problem. They just add problems. They are going to raise your taxes. You're not going to get people from Vermont to come and work in Vermont. They're going to hire people, large corporations from out of state to come in and take care of this stuff. How do I know? Ask me. How would I know?
How would you possibly
Because I
know?
own one of the largest construction companies in central fucking Vermont. Stop being silly, people. I am one of the most open-minded persons that I have friends from every spectrum. And I'm actually a liberal. I lean so liberal these days, it's not even funny. I find very few things that I relate with conservatives. But one thing that I I can't comprehend, I can't agree with, is stupid shit. You want to lose elections? Keep proposing stupid shit. You're going to have people like Donald Trump running the fucking Barrie City Council. That's what you want, because you're going to propose so much stupid shit, people are going to be like, what's going on? Why are these people...
Right.
Like, we don't have enough yellow birds. At what point is it become dumb? Common sense, people. Just common sense. We don't need to get into world politics. We don't need none of that shit. Address the problems that we have in our little city. Fuck the problems that we have around the world. We don't need to address them here in our little city to try to get on the news. To look at what little Barrie City's doing. Here I am on Fox News. Blah, blah, blah. No, that's all you're trying to do. You're clout tracers. Oh, the young kids know what I'm talking about, aren't you? Half them people are clout chasers. That's all they're doing. They want somebody to recognize. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. If I come up with something super dumb, everybody will look at me. That's why, you know what I mean? Who's the guy Vermin from New Hampshire should run for the city council here with his big boot on his head. I'm dead serious. He has the best stuff. But that guy's like wants to give away free goats, free toothbrushes. I mean, at least his dumb ideas have actual practicality. I can milk a goat. I am off on a tangent. I should just stop while I'm ahead. I know. But the thing is people hear me talk, they're going to automatically assume that I'm a right-wing conservative. And that is the farthest... I'm not. I'm absolutely not. I used to lean a lot conservative. I've always voted conservative, but I'm actually a liberal.
You and I are very similar in that you just can't put us in a box.
No.
Cannot stamp us.
If it's wrong, it's wrong.
Yeah, that's how I am.
I'm all for benefiting our country, benefiting our city. Okay, one of the things that I teach is self-defense. Priority number 1. Your 3-foot bubble is your responsibility to protect. That is your universe. You were in charge. You were the God. You were the maker. That is your number 1 priority right there. That bubble. That is your responsibility to take care of it, protect it. You have to have your own army to protect all this, okay? Second priority is your friends, your neighbors, to protect them, to have that ability. Now, take that and apply that concept to local politics. Instead of priority number one being your fucking neighbor in California, your priority number one should be you. Here, your town. How is this affecting you? Second is your local neighbors. That's how your priority level should go. Not ass backwards. What's going on in California? What's going on in Louisiana? No, I don't give a shit what's happening anywhere else. Stop trying to throw Barre City into the national political scene. For what reason? Clout. You want me to get clout? I get clout. All I gotta do, I'll throw a skirt on right now, and I'll go to the city council and I'll grab fucking Fox News. I'll grab everybody. See if they throw me out. Where are you going? I just don't want clout. I don't need it. Get off of me. Get off of me. Oh, all right. Who's going to go watch some wrestling there Sunday? That's where they should do. They should bring them politicians up there and they can do some wrestling. Because that's basically the same thing. We can either go watch it Sunday.
Yeah.
Or you go to the city council meeting. Same actors. Ding, ding. Let's make it happen. I feel bad for you people in Barre City. I really do. And I can't believe that people are not outraged or they don't know what's going on. They've just stuck their head in the sand and was like, nah, hopefully it goes away.
You understand that you're having a profound influence on our 18-year-old.
So this 18-year-old is the same with all of the young people. Okay, same with the 18-year-old over here, your 20-year-olds. Me, am I getting into politics? Absolutely not. I'm 50 years old. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna live my life out. You guys, if this is what you want, this is how you want to live, if that's what you want, then you allow this shit to happen. If not, you need to start campaigning. You need to start voting. You need to start, and I'm not talking about politics on the big stage. You want to make changes? Changes start at your local level. Stop allowing national politics to run your local politicians. Don't do that. Step up, you young folks. Young folks, I only have my say in what I believe, but I'm not the one that has to live this for the next 100 years. You guys do. So if you don't agree with this, then you need to make your voices heard. You need to start at the local level. You need to be at your city council, and if you don't. You need to be part of it. You can't just ignore it. It's not going to go away. These changes that they're going to make are going to have lifelong effects here, not only financially, but it's going to affect your community. These are real changes that are going to affect you personally and going to affect your community. Why are you not part of this? You're talking, same thing happens in Williamstown. We have, $1 million some odd budget that's getting agreed upon by a small minority of people. They're passing the budget. You know why? Everybody else has to work, or they don't show up. They just don't. What do you have so many, you have thousands of voters, and 400 or 500 show up to vote. And then what? We're going to come on aired out and we're going to bitch about it. No, you 18-year-olds, you 21-year-olds, you need to get out there. And hey, man, if that's what you want, if you want to diversify and you want that stuff, all for it. I don't care, man. It's your world that you're creating, not mine. My world's coming to an end. I'm 50 years old. I have, whatever it is, 10, 20 years left, whatever it is. But you guys just coming into life, it's your world.
Yeah.
You can make it however you want it. And I don't think they understand that. You don't have to just sit back and be like, nah, I guess that's life. It's not. You can make, especially local politics. You know how easy it is to get yourself voted onto a board? You and all your buddies could run an entire board. And then with you and all your buddies, all that voting power, you could run an entire city. But instead, what are you doing? I'm at Gusto's, drinking, smoking, trying to find a fat girl to bring home. That's what I'm doing. Hey, I'm not blaming you. I did the same exact fucking thing. But hey, if you want to have some sort of control on what's happening in your community, start campaigning. Start watching what's going on. I'm telling you, you can rule the world. It just takes a little bit of initiative, a little bit of drive. Don't let these old people tell you how you have to live your life. Don't. Be proactive in your local levels. Fuck the national elections. You're never going to change that. But you can start changing it at your local levels. I'm all for local levels. I could care less what's happening on the national stage. I really could. I mean, they're up there passing budgets that are absolutely ridiculous. The House of Representatives has almost $1 billion in office expenditures, but instead they're going to cut 22% out of the VA and knock 81,000 healthcare jobs out instead of cutting the fucking office expenditure so we can have some lady from Colorado go to Texas and explain to us about being a patriot. I could care less. Go and do your job. So I don't have anything towards national politics. And I think people getting wrapped up in national politics is kind of funny. It really is. Haha. Want to make a change? Get to your local. Go to your city council meeting. Start there. Start finding out what they're doing. These people are ruling you. They're dictating what's happening in your town, and you're allowing it. And the old people don't care. We don't care. It's you young people. You need to get out. You need to have a voice. You don't have one. You don't have one at all. I'm telling you. I'm daring you. You guys are pussies. You're going to sit back and let somebody else control your life, pussy. Do something about it.
Thank you for coming in, Rex.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
I love you, buddy.